So you were preaching, quote unquote, you were preaching the word to a congregation.
Oh yeah.
Okay. 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 Institutional, traditional
Definitely,
from
brother.
from 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 the Bible.
Pentecostal, tongue speaking, baptized, casting out demons, all that kind of stuff, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. And so you were doing that, and then you went to this meeting of black men, and you heard someone say, "Let me let you please continue."
I heard this brother say that the original virgin born Christ was Horus of Egypt. Now you have to understand, brother, Christian programming is real deep, brother, because you are literally taught to retaliate when you hear something that's outside of your circumference of awareness. You're taught to retaliate against it. In fact, in the book of Jude, it says these words: defend, contend earnestly for the faith that was once delivered to the saints. Contend means to fight, like a heavyweight contender. So when I heard this brother, I stepped to him. I said, "Excuse me, brother, what did you just say?" He said, "About what?" Because he wasn't talking to me,
Yeah.
right? He said, "About," I said, "You said something about Jesus' name being Horus." He said, "Yeah, the original virgin born Christ was Horus of Egypt." Brother, without allowing him to explain or anything, I just immediately lit into that brother, man. I said, "Satan, the Lord rebuke you.
Hmm.
The blood of Jesus is against you. You're an
Hmm.
evil one. You come to hinder, but I bind you in the name of," man. I went in on the brother.
Yeah.
And the other
I
brother
mean,
standing
for
around,
your understanding, at that point, that was straight up blasphemy.
straight up blasphemy. In fact, not only straight up blasphemy, brother, that was a satanic invasion. you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
to the room. The atmosphere was now satanic as far as I was concerned. All
Yeah.
these black men, brother, my brothers who look just like me, I now saw them as agents of the devil.
Uh huh.
And one of the brothers said, "Calm down, Rev, calm down." And I said, "All y'all are agents of the devil in here, and I can't be in this place. I have to leave."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I left, man. And to
I'm gonna say to our viewers who might be saying the same thing about you and possibly me for having you. Y'all
right,
calm down too. Calm down and stay with us. The objective of this platform is to make you think, whatever the subject might be. You can agree until the cows come home, and you can disagree until they all leave. But I want you to stay with us here because I want you to think. And
there
so,
you
okay, so you went in hard on them,
mhm.
what do you call them? Yeah, blasphemers and the worst agents
Yeah,
of the
man.
devil.
Yep. That's I mean and not only that, brother, I had a radio show on WWRL in New York. And every week, man, for 1 year, I blasted those brothers. Every week.
Mm,
I mean, I blasted them. I felt it was my duty to warn the world
yeah,
about these deceivers, these
yeah.
agents of Satan that's invading the black race, man. I felt it was my duty to warn everybody,
Hmm.
And so, man, about 3 years after that, I was in a meeting at the mayor's office, and I came out, and there was an old bookstore right there by City Hall in Patterson named Bazaar Books, used books. I'd never been in that store before, but this particular day I was led to go in that store, man. I went in and I asked the owner, "Where are your books on religion and philosophy?" Because that's all I was concerned with.
Yeah.
He just pointed in a direction. I saw this pile of books and I picked up this book called Osiris and the Egyptian Resurrection.
Mm,
And
mm,
I said, "What the hell is this, man? What kind of only resurrection I had ever heard of was the resurrection of Jesus Christ and the
hmm.
resurrection of those who believe in him when he comes back."
Yeah.
So I'm thumbing through this book, man, and I see that Osiris had a son named Horus, and it was spelled Horus instead of Horace. That's what I thought the brother meant, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the only Horus I'd ever heard of.
Right. Right.
And I said, "This," and I mean, now mind you, this is 3 years later, right?
Yeah.
So I saw the word Horus, man. My mind immediately went back to that day with those brothers. And I said, this is what that brother was talking about. And I started doing the research, man. And that was it. That was the turning point. That was the turning point of the more research I did, brother. I began to see that everything that I had been preaching, and I mean everything, man, from the doctrine of soteriology, salvation, the doctrine of eschatology, the doctrine of things that's going to come in the future, doctrine of demonology, pneumatology, you name it, bro. All of the doctrines that I had been teaching and preaching was stolen, copied and plagiarized from the Nile Valley, man, and then represented back to us under another ethnicity. I couldn't preach that lie any longer.
So, boy, there's a lot to unpack there. I'm gonna start with you saying you couldn't preach that any longer.
Mm-mm.
So how long did it take you to start giving voice to what you feel you had discovered, the lie that you had been telling? When did you start to flip the script?
That week, that following Sunday, I was going to preach to my congregation a message entitled "The Other Side of Midnight." I remember the subject I was going to preach from, right? And when I got up to preach, it was as though someone was standing behind my right shoulder and whispered in my ear, did people know God before Moses went up on the mountain? I told the congregation what had just happened to me. It didn't mean anything to them, but it meant everything to me because all of my theology began with Moses coming down off the mountain with these so called tablets of stone. Well, man, come to find out that the Bible actually says in the 7th chapter of Acts, and Moses was raised in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and deeds. I said, wait a minute, I wasn't taught that. I was taught that Moses was illiterate and that he had to have his brother Aaron speak for him. So now I'm doing the research and finding out that Moses, which by the way, I mean, if I can fast forward right quick and come back,
Sure.
he never existed. Okay, he's a biblical character. And not one person mentioned, okay, let me do this, man. I do this when I teach. Everybody listening, repeat this after me. The space inside this circle represents my realm of knowledge. All that I think I know about whatever I think I know is depicted right here inside this circle. I must keep in mind that there is more to know than what is within the circumference of my awareness. I start my teachings off like that, brother, because I know I'm going to say something that's going to be outside of people's circumference of awareness. And as I said, we've been taught, we've been trained to reject soon as we hear something that's outside of our circumference, just like I did those brothers, you know? So I'm about to make a statement that's going to hit people like a brick. But the statement is this: no one mentioned in the Bible ever historically existed.
Woo!